Please subscribe my channel. When I first stood at the altar with my wife, I believed without a shadow of doubt that I had found the woman who would walk beside me through every trial. I thought our bond was made of patience, trust, and love carefully built brick by brick over the years. I worked tirelessly, sacrificing sleep, comfort, and personal desires so she could live the life she dreamed of. And for a long time, I convinced myself she respected me for it. I told myself I was the man she wanted, the one she cherished. But all it took was one evening, one careless confession, to strip away that illusion and expose a truth that broke me in ways I never thought possible. We were sitting in the living room, the air heavy with her irritation over something trivial. She looked at me, her eyes sharp, her voice edged with bitterness, and said, "I only married you because the real men weren't around back then." At first, I thought I misheard her. The words didn't make sense. They couldn't. I asked her to repeat it, praying I was wrong, but she looked at me again and delivered the same sentence with the same cold tone. It was like she had hidden this truth inside her all these years, waiting for the right moment to twist it into a blade. I felt gutted. Everything I thought we had built together suddenly seemed false, like a stage play where I had been acting as the fool all along. For days, her words consumed me. I couldn't shake them from my head. I tried to reason with her, to give her a chance to explain or even take it back. But she didn't. Instead, she laughed bitterly and said it was simply the truth. When I asked why she was still married to me if she felt that way, her answer was colder than anything I had ever heard, because it was easier than starting over. That was the moment I knew something had broken beyond repair. It wasn't just my heart. It was the foundation of everything I believed about our marriage. I realized then that no matter how much I gave, I would never be anything more to her than a convenient choice, a placeholder until something better came along. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, I didn't even argue anymore. Quietly, I began preparing myself for the inevitable. I packed away my illusions piece by piece and started gathering the courage to walk away. It hurt like hell to accept that the woman I had devoted myself to didn't see me as her partner, but as her backup plan. Still, I knew I couldn't keep living like that. One weekend, I packed a bag and told her I was leaving. She looked at me stunned, her expression filled with disbelief, as if she never thought I would have the strength to walk away. She tried to downplay it, to laugh it off, to say she didn't mean it. But the damage was carved too deep into me. The trust, the respect, the love, they were gone. And once those things are gone, there is no resurrecting them. Walking out of our home was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Every photo, every memory pulled at me. But I realized memories are not the same as love. Memories cannot disguise contempt. And I deserved more than to be somebody's reluctant choice. I deserved someone who saw me and said, "Yes, this is the man I want. This is my first choice, my only choice." That's something I could never find in her again. The days that followed were brutal. The silence of loneliness hit me hard, and there were moments I wondered if I had made a mistake. But deep down, I knew staying would have been a slow death. Leaving, painful as it was, gave me a chance to save my dignity and start again. It was the only path to healing. Months later, life surprised me. I met someone new. She wasn't anything like my ex-wife. She didn't measure me by what I could provide, and she didn't treat me like I had something to prove every single day. She valued honesty, loyalty, and kindness. When she looked at me, it wasn't through a lens of comparison or compromise. She saw me, and for the first time, I understood what it meant to be truly wanted. Her respect grew naturally into love. And with her, I finally felt the peace I had been searching for all those years. When my ex eventually reached out, her voice carried regret. She said she missed me, but I could hear in her tone that it wasn't love. It was the loss of security, of having someone who once stood by her no matter what. I didn't hate her anymore. I didn't even pity her. I simply accepted the truth. Once she revealed how she saw me, there was no undoing it. I chose not to carry bitterness. Instead, I chose freedom. I chose a life where I was no longer chained to someone who saw me as less than I was. My journey wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my self-worth, my dignity, my right to be loved for who I truly am. Her cruel words had been the hammer that shattered the illusion, but they were also the spark that set me free. Looking back now, I understand something I couldn't see at the time. Sometimes the harshest truth is also the greatest gift. It forced me to let go of something broken so I could make space for something real. I didn't leave her because I found someone else better. I left her for myself, for the man who deserved to be seen, respected, and loved without conditions. And in choosing myself, I finally discovered the happiness I had been searching for all along.